remote bomb is what makes Link more complex and creatively viable. One of the most important things to know is the different throw distances of the bomb, mostly because you don't simply want to throw the bomb at the opponent and have it roll off the stage. Instead, you'll always want it to at least stay on stage as a hazard. You can tilt throw it, or smash throw it. Throwing it while jumping lets the bomb go even further. If you want to throw the bomb while covering a full hop, you can full hop, pick up a bomb, double jump, down throw, and neutral air. Or just full hop, down throw, neutral air. To have it go at a low distance, you'll want to full hop, Z-drop, and fast fall with neutral air before the bomb starts bouncing. And for least amount of distance, you'll want to Z-drop and shoot an arrow. There are other methods of course, but these are the fastest and most efficient ones. The way the bomb physics work is that if the bomb is falling down even as it's bouncing, hitting it will barely launch it. But if it's bouncing upwards and you hit it, it'll go far. And hitting it just as it's about to bounce upwards will have it go the furthest. So by knowing this, you can now launch the bomb in areas that Link can't normally reach. For example, you can do a Z-drop and time a boomerang to have it hit just as it bounces. Or do an up tilt. You can also full hop and down throw at the peak of your jump. Then up air to have it launch straight up, or do a down air to have it launch up and away. This can be extremely good against high recoveries like snakes or robs, for example. You can even set this up as someone is recovering, and then if you forward throw their regular get up, it'll combo into the bomb for a kill. This of course applies for hitting it with any move, and because Link runs fairly slowly, he can compensate for it by understanding how to launch the bomb. So, for example, you can down throw neutral air into a charged arrow and launch the bomb either really high by shooting it as it's bounced, or launch it for a low edge guard by hitting it before it's bounced. The bomb can in fact cover the full hop twice, if you start by down throwing and neutral airing it. If it covers it the first time and you didn't react with detonating it, you can step back a bit and throw the boomerang forward. If the boomerang is shielded, it'll come back and it'll hit the bomb upwards once again to cover the full hop. In which case you could detonate it once they jump, or full hop and shoot an arrow to launch it at them if they roll away. If they roll away from the boomerang, you can always shoot the bomb as well. Once you've launched an opponent off stage, it's important to know when it's a good time for a bomb edgeguard. Forcing it too many times will only let your opponent recover around it eventually. You'll also miss the opportunity of simply going off stage with Link, who already has incredible edgeguarding aerials. One really good setup once you've launched the opponent high and far is to up throw the bomb with a smash throw, then immediately full hop and charge an arrow. You'll want to time this so that when you are full hopping and charging, you'll level yourself with how they are falling to condition forth an air dodge. Once the arrow is fully charged, you'll need to release it, which will hit the bomb and have it go at a low angle only to hard punish the air dodge. If you have a bomb in hand, then throw a boomerang. You can follow up by throwing a bomb right at the returning boomerang to cover a full hop as well. If the opponent ever grabs the bomb and you know they want to throw it at you, you can always throw a boomerang at them to have the bomb clash with the boomerang and then detonate it right in their face. In fact, every time the opponent holds the bomb, they are open to being pressured, as now they can no longer do aerials out of shield, nor an up smash out of shield. The only time where the opponent will ever want to hold the bomb is if Link is off stage and looking to bomb recover. And so, every time you take a stock, you can make it really hard for them right off the bat, by picking up a bomb and Z-drop it to either create a wall or have them shield close to it. As now, since it's close to them, they cannot do an aerial out of shield either, since they'll end up grabbing the bomb instead. This can be used in neutral at any time, of course, by jumping above them and Z-dropping the bomb while fast falling with a sweet spot neutral air. If they ever look to punish the neutral air, they'll be grabbing the bomb, leaving them open for a hard punish. The only way to do an aerial at the same time as you catch the bomb is to first release the shield button, then do an aerial. Buffering the aerial out of shield will always result in them just grabbing the bomb. This specific Z-drop tech can also be effective if they tried, for example, up tilt to anti-air you. Instead, they'll be clanking with the bomb, which gives Link a really big opening. If the placement of the Z-drop is right in front of the opponent, it'll be most optimal if you space a one-hit back air into a short hop back air, and if you space yourself right, you can double jump and back air again above the bomb, which catches it, and allows you to combo into a throw that true combos into a neutral air, and can even follow up into a down air. which isn't true but requires quick reactions to be avoided. Except for all of this, it also allows Link to win neutral by simply detonating the bomb once he senses that the opponent wants to get away from it. Either way, Z dropping the bomb in front of the opponent's shield will always make Link's pressure much more devastating. This can also be applied during an approach. By doing a down throw neutral air, you can run in with the bomb and pressure with your aerials. If they try punishing with an aerial out of shield, they'll be grabbing a bomb instead and get punished. And this also applies if an arrow is on the ground. One very important thing to remember is that if there isn't time for bomb setups off stage, you'll simply want to use it for ledge traps, in which case it's important to plant it at the very edge of the stage, as if they specifically regular get up, you'll be able to combo into anything, like a forward tilt, spin attack, or smash attack, for a very early kill. It also means that detonating it won't launch them off stage, but instead towards Link for a combo at lower to mid percents. In fact, every time a bomb is planted behind opponents or thrown and ends up behind them, it'll combo. At starting percents, this can set up for optimal damage if they miss the tech. Even just having the bomb planted at the edge of the stage means that whenever you throw the boomerang, it'll apply more pressure as it'll hit the bomb and come back immediately, making your mid-stage control a bit more potent. You could also plant it on a platform for combos of throws, or just short hop and shoot it to have it roll towards them unexpectedly. If you're holding a bomb at starting percents, you could jump in with a close-range boomerang and combo it into a Z-drop nair, once or twice, which leads into throwing the bomb and detonating it. This is only effective against bigger opponents. You could also combo it into a Z-drop down air, but this won't work if they DI away. Same thing with Z-drop down air to another Z-drop down air. That'll only work if they don't DI away. But you could always finish it off with Z-drop neutral air or spin attack, which works regardless of DI. You could also string the first hit of back air into a down throw bomb and drag opponents out to eventually kill with spin attack. However, this won't really work against smaller bodies, and even the characters that it works against, it can be air dodged in the middle of it, so I'd recommend just going for a simple back air to spin attack, and then use the bomb for edge guarding. Or shoot an arrow which sets up perfectly into the bomb. You're also able to buffer a jab, tilt, or smash attack with throwable items in this game. During any animation, you can press Z and A at the same time, then quickly release Z while still holding A, which for Link gives him two decent options. You can full hop, buffer down B, and as he's pulling out the bomb, press Z and A at the same time, then let go of Z and he'll land with neutral air. The second option is that he can full hop and Z drop nair, and during the nair animation press Z and A at the same time, then release Z and he'll jab opponents off stage at mid to high percents at a perfect angle for the bomb. These are of course all specific techniques. At its core, however, the bomb will always be meant as a ledge trapping, edge guarding, and conditioning tool during neutral. It deals little damage, but it allows Link to win neutral and gain stage control, or kill at high percents. So whenever it's close to the opponent, you'll be able to play a shield conditioning game, which complements his already amazing pressure game with neutral air and boomerang. Where the bomb is at its best, however, is during disadvantage. Blowing it up while off stage not only helps Link recover, but it also allows him to blow himself back into the middle stage and get past ledge traps. It's of course punishable, but hard to react to, as Link can decide to blow himself into the middle at any point. This can be done very easily on stages with flat walls, by jumping backwards while throwing the bomb and detonating it. You're even able to press down to release the ledge and fast fall, down throw the bomb and start drifting towards the stage slightly, and detonate it immediately to get to the other side. One thing to be aware of is that the lower you are sent without a double jump, the harder it is to execute the bomb recovery, as if you press down B and try Z-dropping it as soon as possible, you'll Z-drop it above your head, and you'll only have a very few amount of frames to press down B after pressing Z, meaning it basically has to be frame perfect. Not to mention that you'll also have to drift a bit towards the stage before picking up the bomb. But if you're launched fairly high and can take your time after picking up a bomb, it'll be very easy to come back as Link will pull the bomb closer to his body. You're also able to hold down for a lesser launch or hold up to launch yourself really far. And at the end of the day, the bomb is there to help you in creating your own creative playstyle with Link. Thank you guys for watching. These videos take a lot of hard work and time to do. So if you want to support this series, I'd be very grateful if you make it worth it for me by supporting me on my Patreon. And for all the Patreons I currently have, thank you guys so much for all your support. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. See you next time.